packed spring sports update for you on this Wednesday afternoon. Jay Alter with you here from New York City, and man, it just keeps coming. It will not stop. I feel like each and every week we've got more and more to talk about as the spring has sprung here in April. And I'll tell you what, we've got some great player interviews today. You'll hear from Captain Clutch, Georgetown's Taylor Gebhardt, their leading scorer, who had 2 game-winning goals last week, and then the #1 pick over on the men's lacrosse side of things, Denver's face-off specialist, Trevor Baptiste. A loaded show, so stick with us, and then we'll head down south to check in with John Fanta, who just covered the Big East Women's Golf Championship. But we will start like we do every Wednesday with the top 5 plays of the week. Roll them. Number 5, we go to Villanova. Danny Seibel, he goes airborne, fires it home. Take another look. Air Seibel. Wildcats get the win, much needed for Villanova. Number 4, hey everybody, we reward defense. Check out this play. Mitch Gallagher, the tag over to first, double play. Well worthy of making it into the top 5. Softball, Alisa Rodriguez. Walk-off home run. DePaul gets a huge win. Awesome job for Rodriguez and the Blue Demons. This is the equivalent to a walk-off, except on the lacrosse field. Taylor Gebhardt in overtime to beat Marquette. You'll hear from her coming up in a little bit. Take another look. Whoop! Spin cycle, and the winner. Go low. Gebhardt puts Georgetown into the Big East Championship with a win against Marquette. Number 1, watch the ball. Kalawasi Island, 18th hole. Georgetown's Jacqueline Ely from the bunker. It's in. Take another look. Ely would go on to win the individual championship. Georgetown won the team event, and that caps it all off. We will get a lot more from John Fanta down in Kalawasi Island, but tremendous. A final round from the bunker. They call it a Sandy, and she will have that clip for the rest of her life. Tremendous job by the senior Ely to lead the Hoyas. All right, what else do you need to know in spring sports? Well, let's get to our 5 things that'll get you set for this week in the Big East. We've got a lot of sports to bounce between, but we will tell you that St. John's, they've become a fixture on the 5 things to follow. The Red Storm can't lose. They are undefeated in Big East play. 12 straight wins for St. John's. You heard from them just a couple of weeks ago. And what they are doing, we have not seen in Big East baseball in a long time. You have to go all the way back to 2000 when Rutgers started 11-0. Sean Mooney, the ace of this St. John's staff, has the Red Storm. The pitching staff is really a well-oiled machine. They are getting it done from the mound. It's a 12-game winning streak, and they are now in the top 20 in the country. And I'll tell you, St. John's, they had a great start last year. It tailed off a little bit for the Red Storm. This year, they've moved into conference play, and they've been even better, more dominant. Really excited to see how they can finish it up. A lot of time left in Big East baseball. It goes all the way to the Memorial Day weekend, that conference tournament, and then into June when you consider the NCAA tournament. So, again, it's a long way to go, but St. John's certainly on track for what should be a spectacular season. All right, number 2. You want to talk about spectacular seasons on our 5 things to follow? Taylor Gebhardt, Georgetown. They're the team to talk about in Big East women's lacrosse. They have had 2 starters injured, and does not matter. They just keep on marching on. They have locked up a spot in the Big East tournament. 6 straight wins for the Hoyas. They are 7-1 behind undefeated Florida at 8-0, and then Denver, Marquette, Temple, UConn. Everybody's battling. Only 2 spots left. Denver's actually in the field comfortable. So you have 1 and 2, Florida and Georgetown locked up. Those will be your 2. Denver will be in the field. We don't know if they'll be 3 or 4. And then the winner of Marquette, UConn. It's essentially a play-in game between the Golden Eagles and the Huskies to see who will be down in Gainesville for the Big East tournament hosted by Florida, and the Gators, of course, number 1 once again, the class of the league. They are locked in to that number 1 spot. Then Georgetown right behind them. And I'll tell you what, folks, the Hoyas, they had every excuse in the book. Ricky Freed and company, they could have said, we had our best players injured. But you know what? This team has stuck together. They've won 6 in a row and 2 in dramatic fashion. Taylor Gebhardt, the junior, had both of the game-winning goals. Here's our conversation with the Georgetown star. And we now welcome in the leading scorer of the Georgetown Hoyas, Taylor Gebhardt, who, boy, she's got a flair for the dramatic as of late. 2 game-winning goals in just 1 week. Taylor, tell us about the clutch gene. How do you get it done late in games when the game is on the line?
I couldn't really tell you. I guess it's just the atmosphere, having the team really be all in and supportive of, at each player's ability. And I guess it just kind of comes to me. But I'm glad we got it done this week.
Now, you got it done in a big way. Those 2 wins send you guys to the Big East tournament. It is the 12th straight Big East tournament. Actually, the Hoyas have never missed a Big East tournament. What is it about the culture, the program, that just finds a way to win each and every year?
I mean, I have to say it starts from our head coach, Ricky Freed. He just instills in us. We set goals at the beginning of every season, and we stick to them for the whole season and just make sure that we're, constantly focusing on playing together as a team and being competitive, and we play for each other. I think, what's special with our team this year is that we have such a great team dynamic on and off the field. We're very competitive too, and I think that's what's really motivated us to get to the Big East each and every year and playing for those who have come before us. So we have a great program that we're playing for. So.
And Coach Freed and this team, it's been a challenge this year. You've lost 2 key members of this team, especially Francesca Whitehurst. How have you overcome those injuries, those setbacks? You've won 6 in a row. You're red hot. Take us through, I guess, how you overcome those injuries and still maintain that level of success that people expect at Georgetown.
It was really hard losing those 2 players. I mean, they're both great players on the field, and they also make a huge impact to our team dynamic. But I think the biggest thing that's happened with us losing them has been each player stepping up in their individual role and making sure that they're doing their job. And then, we've found a way to connect those dots and those pieces. And I think, we've had freshmen step up, seniors step up, and it's just been really great to see everyone, playing not only for themselves, but for their teammates and, the Georgetown program as a whole.
Well, I know the focus right now is finishing this Big East season as strong as you can and getting ready for the Big East tournament. But I've got to ask, the NCAA tournament, you guys are in the top 15 in the RPI. Do you talk about that in the locker room, that, hey, despite all these setbacks, we are still a good enough team to be in the NCAA tournament?
I mean, I think that's also a big goal of ours. That was one of the goals that we set at the beginning of the season. And we were really excited when we beat Hopkins and we saw that we were in the top 20 on those rankings. But I think that's just been something that, Big East is the closer picture that we're striving for, but NCAAs is further down the road. And I think that's something that we're really focused on as well. And it's exciting hearing that we're 15 in the RPI. I mean, we definitely have played a lot of competitive teams. So it'll be something to look forward to.
And you'll be down in Gainesville for that Big East tournament. And, of course, Florida has just been the challenge in the league the last couple of years. Do you look forward to that challenge? One of the best teams in the country in your league, and they've never been beaten in a Big East championship. You could be the first.
Yeah, I mean, we have definitely a very competitive streak with them. And this game during the regular season this year was definitely one of the most competitive games that we've had with them. And I think that it's a huge focus of ours to try to beat them and take that title. And I think that if we continue the way we're playing, that's definitely possible. And playing for, the Georgetown G on our jersey. But I think that, Florida is just a huge rival of ours, and it'd be really exciting to beat them if, when that comes time.
It'd be tough to find a more talented scorer and a more clutch player in the entire country than Taylor Gebhardt, and we appreciate the Georgetown leading scorer for taking a couple of minutes with us.
Thanks for having me.
Let's keep it moving here on the Spring Sports Update. Men's and women's tennis, we're talking Spring Sport Championships. Some have a lot of regular season left, but in tennis, on both the men's and the women's side, the championship bracket is set down there near Columbia, South Carolina. I will be down there for both the men's and the women's finals. Let's take a look at the bracket. DePaul on the men's side earning the #1 seed. 2 teams to watch out for, though, Marquette and Butler. That was your final a year ago, so 4 seed and a 3 seed. They're tournament tested. Who knows how it'll shake out? Tennis, obviously, one of these things where If you get a couple of players hot, you don't need everybody to win. You just need to be better than the other team on that given day in your 7 matches. So we will see how it shakes out on the men's side. Over on the women's side, DePaul was the reigning champions a year ago. They come in as the 2 seed. St. John's the 1 seed. And it all starts in that first round. Butler, Georgetown, Creighton, Providence, you're playing games. And again, tennis, one of the best sports to cover because truly, in this knockout stage, you don't need to be the best. You could have somebody take out somebody, but if you can just find a way, scrap it together, it's a really fun tournament to cover, and we will post our full recap to @BigEastChamps on our social media channels. So stay locked into that as we keep rolling to number 2, the 5 things you need to follow in the land of Big East Spring Sports. Creighton softball. Woo! Blue Jays, red hot. A sweep of Seton Hall. They move atop the standings, and it is really tight in the softball standings for Big East softball. You've got 4 teams all locked in at the 7 wins in the conference record column. Creighton is number 1 because of the loss column. They've only got 2, and Villanova, Butler, St. John's has 5. All that means is they've played 3 more games. And then DePaul, we saw the walk-off home run from Rodriguez earlier. They are 9-3, always tough to watch. But you see, there's 5 teams all competing for those top spots. I'll tell you, the parity across our spring sports has been absolutely phenomenal as we keep showing you the standings, whether it's women's lacrosse, men's lacrosse, even tennis and golf, and now softball. A lot of parity, and it all comes down to these championships, and it's a lot of fun to cover. And we'll keep it rolling. We'll keep it rolling. Men's lacrosse. Here we go. This really cool as we cover these guys throughout their 4 years, and they make that next step from college to the professional leagues. And Trevor Baptiste from Denver, their face-off specialist, getting selected number 1 to the Boston Cannons. His teammate, the long stick midfielder Sean Mayle, going to number 6 to the Bayhawks. And then we go to Villanova's Christian Cuccinello, an attacker who leads Villanova in scoring this year. He will get a shot at the next level with the Atlanta Blaze. And then 2 defenders, one from Georgetown, Ryan Hersey, and Providence's James Barkley, also getting selected. But the big story, Trevor Baptiste, a face-off specialist, getting selected number 1 for the first time in MLL history. It is well-deserved. He has redefined the position. And here's my conversation with the Denver Fogo. And we're now joined by the number 1 pick in the MLL draft, and it is the Denver face-off specialist, Trevor Baptiste. Trevor, let's start right there. Where were you when you heard the news, and what was your reaction?
Hey, guys, thanks for having me. I was actually in the locker room. We just got out of practice. I didn't know if the draft already happened or if they started or if they're halfway through. So I just went in the locker room. I had class right after practice, and I just pulled it up really quickly on my phone. I was like, oh, let's see if the draft already happened or if I got drafted or something like that. And when I pulled it up, it actually just started. So I got to see the number 1 name, and I got to see myself get called. So it was pretty exciting.
That's awesome. And the number 1 pick, I think, proves a point that I've been saying for this year, which I think you're the best face-off guy, not only this season, but ever play the position. When you hear stuff like that, I guess what continues to drive you and you continue to get better? You've been the best for a while, and yet you keep getting better and better and better.
Yeah, thanks. I think that I just try to set like a higher bar every time I'm out there, and there's definitely no knock to like it's not just me out there. There's a whole team, and I think our wing play has gotten tremendously better, and they keep getting better every game, and I just get so much support from all my teammates. So it's really easy to perform when you're comfortable. And aside from that, I just try to play my best every time I'm out there.
You've certainly done a good job of that. And you just look at the accolades. You win a national championship. You've broken pretty much every record there is to break. You've had a perfect game, 22-22, and now you're the number 1 pick in the MLL draft. Do you feel like you've truly done it all in your 4 years at Denver?
I mean, I don't know. I don't think about it like that. I think about it like I just want to get to the next level or the next milestone, and right now obviously it's Marquette and then the Big East tournament, and most importantly a national championship. So I don't like to think about like, oh, everything that's already happened, but I'm more really excited about everything that's left, and especially coming into my last season. It's kind of my last go around at it, and I really want to make the most of it and put my best foot forward every time I'm out there.
I want to go off the lacrosse field with you. You're a Jersey guy. NFL draft is coming up. First, are you a Jets or a Giants fan?
Giants.
Okay, so who's Big Blue taking with the number 2 pick of the draft Thursday night?
I have no idea.
No one does. Who do you want?
Man. There's just so many choices. And
what do you think? Saquon Barkley, the running back, couple quarterbacks.
I think he's gonna go one. So, but like obviously that would be my pick if I was him. If he's still left on the board,
there we go.
I guess there's no reason why anyone shouldn't pick him. So if he's still on the board of the number 2 pick, I think the Giants should take it.
Well, hopefully they do end up with a talented player like the Boston Cannons did in their draft process with you. I want to go back to lacrosse as you wrap up this senior year. If Denver is going to win the national championship, what needs to happen? Give me a couple of things that need to go right for you guys during this stretch, including the Big East tournament and Marquette, who you guys have struggled with the last 2 years.
Right. Yeah. I think it starts with that. Play Marquette tough. They always play us tough. So really getting ready for that matchup, getting mentally prepared and dialed in. I think for everything to work out for us, I think we can't look too far down the road. I think we just got to really focus on what's in front of our face. Obviously the importance of Marquette being the next game right in front of us, but I think we can't look forward and say, oh, we have to do this and that to get to here. I think we just have to go out on the field every day, play our best, put our best foot forward, and really just take care of business when we're out there. And going off that too, I think we can't think too much about the past. We can't think, coming off a hot game like Villanova and being on a little bit of a winning streak here. It's easy to get a little conceited and think you're really good. But I think we just got to stay steadfast on the mission.
You were recruited to Denver. You're coached by an absolute lacrosse legend in Coach Tierney. Can you give us your best Coach Tierney impression, whether it's in-game or at practice?
Oh, wow. Wow. Oh, man. Yeah, so we were at practice this one day, and, I think our sticks weren't really dialed in that day. And, like sometimes it's really natural that if you throw a bad pass or if you don't handle a ball, you say my bad to the guy that threw to you or the guy that you threw to. And then Coach, he wasn't really happy because we were playing well, and so it's like he blows the whistle, he stops practice, he brings everyone in, and he's like, stop saying my bad when you mess up. Like, you messed up. You know it. He knows it. Your mom in the stands knows it. Don't say my bad. You don't need to say my bad. Everyone knows it's your bad. Just keep playing. Like, and he was
it's awesome.
And then obviously he was like, we're a team, like everyone's got each other's back, and you don't have to apologize for messing up. I remember it was like a couple of weeks ago. So Coach T stayed on the restraining line, and I took a shot, and it rang off the pipe, and it went off really hard, and it's like flying towards Coach T, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like this is gonna hit Coach T, and then it kind of drops a little bit, and then it just splits him right in between his legs, right by his crotch, and I'm like, and I just put my head down to make it look like I didn't shoot it, like I wasn't shooting. And then he just turns around and smiles and shakes his head, and I was like, that guy's the man.
You know what you could have said to him?
What?
My bad.
My bad. That's what I should have said. I should have said my bad.
Trevor, love talking to you. So proud of you. Congratulations on everything, and finish strong, okay?
Yeah, thanks so much.
So Bill Tierney, Trevor Baptiste, and the Denver Pioneers head into the final week of the Big East men's lacrosse regular season. In that number 1 spot, they take on Marquette. So the winner of that game gets the top seed in the tournament. Georgetown locked into the field. So all that's really decided in this final week will be, will it be Villanova or Providence in the field, as we take a look at our projected men's lacrosse bracket of the Big East tournament. Villanova is hosting, so the Wildcats desperately want to get into the field. Also, they're really the only team other than Denver that has a chance at an at-large berth into the NCAA tournament because of how well they performed in non-conference play. So a win against Providence, crucial for the Wildcats. Denver, Marquette obviously will determine that number 1 seed as we take a look at our spring slate. It is a loaded weekend once again. I want to focus on the men's lacrosse games because, again, this is the final week of the regular season. You can catch that Villanova-Providence game on Fox College Sports Saturday at 1. Also Saturday at 1 over on the BEDN, powered by Fox Sports Go. Georgetown and St. John's, the Hoyas in the top 20. They cannot afford to stub their toe against the Red Storm. It would affect seeding. If they're going to try and get an at-large berth, they definitely need to beat St. John's and probably win one in the NCAA tournament as well. And then Temple, Georgetown on Owls TV, and Seton Hall, Villanova. Baseball, you can get started on PSN for some Big East baseball this weekend, and what is another great slate in the land of Big East spring sports. And we are here in championship season. It is coming fast and furiously. We've taken you through all the teams, but one sport is already wrapped up. Big East women's golf. It was this past weekend at Kalawasi Island, and John Fanta was down in South Carolina for your full recap.
The competition was intense at Kalawasi Golf Club, on the course and even in the pond, as the 2018 Big East Women's Golf Championship was decided on Sunday, and when it was all said and done, the Georgetown Hoyas, back-to-back champions, they get it done as they come out with the crown for the second straight year. The Hoyas, they were powered by senior Jacqueline Ely, who is the individual champion. Just the first time, folks, that someone has won 2 Big East individual titles in their career. Ely, it comes full circle for her. She did it as a freshman and now as a senior. And this is quite the moment for her and the Hoyas.
I mean, it comes full circle, I guess. I really couldn't ask for more to win in my freshman year and then again win it senior year, but I definitely have grown and become way more mature as a player, and I saw that out there today. I kind of struggled a little bit with my ball striking, but I just stayed super patient and the coach said just respect the course. It was playing tough today, so just respect it, play conservative, which I did, and then knew I could go for it, and yeah, I mean, it's unbelievable that I won it twice, 2-time Big East champion.
You have the shot of the tournament and one of the great shots in Big East history on 18, the chip in from the bunker. Take us through it.
Okay, so off the tee, I didn't hit the best tee shot. I was a little right, and Coach Craig was with me, and he's like, "What do we have?" And so I'm confident in my bunker play. So I was like, I really like that back bunker. I would love to be there. And so we got the yardage to the back of the bunker is 138, and then 148 to the people in the stand. So I was like, okay, perfect 8-iron. Just aim right at the bunker, and that's what I did, and I put in exactly where I wanted to be, and then I had a lot of green to work with, and I was really confident, and I knew when it was going to hit off the slope, it was going to push a little left, and I hit my spot, and it rolled in, and I honestly couldn't ask for a better way to finish my senior Big East.
From your vantage point, you heard the roar, did you see it happen? Jacqueline Ely's chip in on 18.
Oh, I heard the roar. That was a loud roar. I was so happy. I saw her on the fairway, so I knew it was something with her group. And then I saw my assistant coach, C, run back to her and give her a huge hug, so I knew it was something good. So that pumped me up for back on 17 with Tina.
As we said, Ely, the individual champion at 6 over, and tied for second is her teammate Christina Parcells, who's starting Sunday with the lead and held steady throughout the three-day tournament. With Butler's Abigail Gleichner, they tied for second. And then a three-way tie for fourth between Seton Hall's Cassie Pantelis, Lizzie Wynn, and Mia Kness. From there on out, the story again, Georgetown. All 5 Hoyas placed in the top 11 of this tournament. And for first-year head coach Kate Shanuel, this moment is especially rewarding.
Oh, a good feeling comes to mind. It's overwhelming in a wonderful way. The girls, it's hard to defend, and they did it. They stuck to the game plan. Coming down the stretch, we were ahead by quite a few shots, and we were able to hold our heads. So I'm very proud of them.
Yeah! Oh, that feels so good, you guys. To keep it.
I am so proud of you guys. Golly.
Came through, yes.
Big time Lex.
How would you sum up what it's been like coaching her, and just the fact that she's the first Big East two-time individual champion?
Yeah, and she deserves it. She's worked so hard, and it was just so nice being able to come into a team that was so receptive and so open and built a great foundation, and they knew what it took to win coming in here, and so did Jacko as an individual, and being able to circle around. The win was her freshman year, and her second win now is her senior year, so what a great circle for her as we continue to work hard going into regionals.
I think the biggest thing about this group is that we're all just 100% committed to this program and making it the best we can be. We always say, like, leave it better than you found it. And I think, honestly, every single one, all 11 of us, we really are just super dedicated to showing up. We haven't had the best weather, but we all show up to practice with, like, the same positive energy and just out there grinding away for moments like these. So, yeah, my team is the best team there is.
What did you make of this course, the gallery, the fans here?
It really makes it the tournament that it is. The fans and just everyone watching and supporting, you feel like you're, a professional out there. So just having everyone cheering for you, it really means a lot.
We're so close. Coach always says, play like sisters, and we really are sisters. We spend so much time together and love every moment, every day. Even outside of practice, we're still hanging out together. So we knew that we could trust in each other to come out number one.
Fitting, I'm sure, that a conference championship has this type of atmosphere. What was the atmosphere like out there, the gallery and the people?
It was really exciting. I'm actually from South Carolina, so it's really special to be back in my home state. So many fans out there cheering you on. Hearing my name is really exciting. So it just shows that it's so much bigger than just us. Having all these people out here playing for Georgetown, it's really such an honor.
A second straight Big East title for the Georgetown Hoyas, and they next move to Selection Wednesday. That'll be on the Golf Channel. You can catch it there as the Hoyas are heading to NCAA Regionals. This team, veteran-laden, and they showed their experience and poise in a three-day title run as they led from start to finish. Georgetown, the queens of the Big East, again.